What's up, guys? It's your girl Liz Lorette. Welcome back to my channel. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. If you are new here, what's up? I'm Liz. I am a faith mama, military wife, and lover of all things life. So what I thought we would talk about today is going to be the birth story of my first child, Kaia. I am currently 39 weeks pregnant, and so I am set to be induced in a couple of days. Actually, I'm filming this on a Saturday. I will be induced Monday morning, and so one of the things that I wanted to do was kind of take a trip down memory lane, talk about some of the things that I experienced when I was induced with my daughter and that whole labor and delivery process. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you don't, it's okay. It's more so for memories for myself, and then to give any maybe first-time mamas an idea of what to expect if they are induced. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So first things first, let me go ahead and apologize if you hear any noise. One, I have my dog that likes to run around and try to get up on my lap, so I'm sure you'll hear her little tag jingling. And then also my husband, who is so wonderful, is upstairs cleaning, but our house is very creaky, so a lot of times you can hear that noise upstairs. So let's talk about my first labor and delivery with my first child, little Miss Kaia. She is currently 5 years old, going on 25, it honestly seems like. I do have my notebook because your girl always forgets kind of different details. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. Okay, so with my daughter, I was, I had a due date of August 8th, 2014. So if you guys want to know kind of what to expect about military or maternity care in the military, I do have a video all about that. I will link it at the end so you can learn about that. So I got all of my care through TRICARE because my husband is in the Army. And so at the military base where we were stationed, Fort Campbell, Tennessee, or Kentucky, depending on what side you're on, they had a policy that, you know, they would just let you go through your pregnancy and they wouldn't even consider induction unless you hit 41 weeks. And so I went to my 40-week checkup, no sign of labor, didn't go into labor. And basically what they said was, when you hit 41 weeks, you are going to call in on that day in the morning at a certain time, and you're going to find out, can you come in for a labor induction? So that is what I did. That 41-week mark, I called the hospital, Blanchfield Army Community Hospital, and I called to see if I could come in to be induced. That day they had too many women who were already in labor or maybe just finishing out their labor, whatever it was. They said, no, we're full today. Give us a call back tomorrow morning. So I did that the next day. So that means I was 41 weeks in one day, the following day that I called. And so when I called, they said, yep, you're good to go. We have room for you. Come on in. So my husband and myself went to the hospital. As we were going on to the base, I do remember feeling like some weird sensations in my stomach, but I had kind of no idea as to what they really were. And so, yeah, I just figured, that's a different sensation, but whatever. So we went through the gate. We got to the hospital and we checked in. We checked in at about 7:30 in the morning. They took me into the little triage room. They hooked me up to the monitors. They checked me, and they actually said, hey, you're already in labor. Your body is currently contracting. And I believe I was about 3 centimeters at that point, which is crazy, just because basically in 1 week, my body had gone from like 0 to 3 centimeters, which is pretty awesome. And I had no idea. I was walking a lot because we were trying to get that baby out of me. So we did what was called the Greenway, I want to say, at Fort Campbell. And it was just this really nice, it has a ton of trees and bushes and paths and streams and stuff. And so we did like 2 miles and we would walk around the neighborhood and things like that. But baby did not seem like she was coming. But apparently all that walking worked. And I was already dilated to about a 3. So they got me into my room, checked in at the hospital that I delivered at then and this new hospital that I will be delivering at, they have what are called LDRP rooms, and that's basically where you do everything in one room. There's no moving. So labor, delivery, recovery, and postpartum is all in one room. Your baby stays with you. There's no nursery, nothing. So after you have the baby, like everything is just in one area, which I like. I haven't experienced anything else, but it's a great way to go about it, I think. So what was originally going to be a straight up induction ended up being just a labor augmentation, I guess is what they would call it. So because I was already dilated, I didn't have to have like any sort of Foley bowl or any Cervidil or anything inserted to like soften my cervix, because my cervix was already doing what it was supposed to be doing. They still gave me Pitocin, and that kind of had things speed along, right? So when I had the Pitocin, the contractions started to gradually get stronger and stronger. And by the time I hit about 6 centimeters is when I was ready for my epidural. And I was like, get me the meds. So they brought the anesthesiologist in. One other thing, I was positive for group B strep. So in the beginning, they just administered my antibiotics. They brought the anesthesiologist in, and the anesthesiologist did go ahead and give me my epidural. One thing to note is that this anesthesiologist was like super, super serious and strict, and he kept talking about how all the risks and you need to know that you could die. I just want you to know, do you understand that you can die from this epidural? I'm like, I get it, bro. I could die. Can you just give me the meds, please? So he did go ahead and give me the medications, or the epidural medicine. So it's just like you hear all the time. You have to arch your back. Come on. Mr. Crinkly. Take your time. This is all good. So he gave me all the warnings about what could happen about getting my epidural. And I get it. There are, what's the word? Side effects. That's not the word that I'm looking for, but there are side effects, right? So he wanted to make sure that I was aware of all the side effects, but he really, really hammered home, like, you could die. Do you understand this? You could die from this epidural. I get it, bro. Like, give me the epidural, please. So arch my back. He numbed my back, and then he put like the needle into my back. I don't remember there being any major pain. I just remember like a bee type of sting feeling. And then the epidural was administered. What I received was is commonly referred to as a walking epidural, I guess. So my legs were numb. They honestly felt like they were just heavily, heavily asleep. Like super, super, like when you're almost, well, I mean, I guess it happens to everybody too. Like if you sit on the toilet for too long and your legs fall asleep, that's what it felt like. But super asleep. I could still like kind of move them, right? But I was very numb from like my waist down. And so that was good to go. So after I got the epidural, just hung out in the hospital, chilling, waiting for my body to just continue to dilate and get ready to deliver. A little bit after that, I actually was sitting up, we were watching TV, and I literally felt like if that noise was a feeling, like that was literally what I felt in my stomach was a, and so that followed by a gush. I was like, I think my water just broke, because the nurse happened to just walk in at the same time. And so she came over, she checked, she was like, yep, your water did break. So my water broke on its own. It was a very weird sensation, but it's indescribable. You literally, maybe not everybody, but I literally felt a pop in my stomach and then a gush of warm liquid come out of me. So my water broke after getting the epidural, and then everything just sped up from there. So now remember that I said I checked in at 7:30, right? So everything sped up after my water broke. And at that point, they ended up having to take the Pitocin off, because every time I would have a contraction, my daughter's heart rate would dip. So they ended up just turning the Pitocin off, and then my body just continued to do what it needed to do on its own. But it went super fast from that point. So after they turned the Pitocin off, I gotta look at my notes to remember. I just went from that 6, I guess, to that 10 pretty quickly after that. And I remember once I hit 10, I'm assuming, I felt so much pressure down low. And you do hear, like, you feel like you have the urge to poop. You literally do, but it was such an intense urge, such intense pressure that I was literally like this, like, help me, somebody, I have to, oh my gosh, I have to push. And I was just like moving like this. I could not stop moving because it was so uncomfortable and so much pressure that I was, and mind you, I had my epidural, right? It wasn't painful though. It was just intense pressure where I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And so because of that, because I was moving around and that pressure was so intense, I was started hyperventilating and like was like, and so then they had to give me oxygen. So they put the little oxygen mask on me and was like, you need to breathe, you need to relax, try to relax. And I'm like, no, I need to push. They're like, no, just hold on. You're okay, just hold on. And my doctor and everybody's getting ready. You're all right. I'm like, no, I need to push. And my husband's just like, they're like, it's okay, trying to hold my mask on my face. So after that, the doctor finally came over. They have you do like a practice push to see like how well you can push on your own. And so I pushed the one time. They're like, okay, you are pushing great. That is awesome. That is exactly what you need to do. Next contraction came. I pushed the second time. Baby's head came out. My daughter was almost out there. And then the third push, I pushed. And what my husband told me was that the doctor actually had to put his hand in me and kind of like rotated our daughter, and her shoulders just came out and she just slid right out of that thing. So one push, practice push, second push, baby's head, third push with a little assistance, baby came out of there. So 3 pushes. It was awesome. It was so quick. And so I'm kind of nervous for this next one because I'm like, what if it isn't that quick? What if it isn't that seamless? But everything is in God's hands. So anyways, I did 3 pushes. She came out. They held her up and then they put her like on my chest, right? And all I remember is that I just kept saying, my baby, my baby, my baby, my baby. Like, and I was crying. And it is the most amazing feeling ever to have carried this baby for 9 months, to have prayed over this child, prayed for her health, prayed for her safety, prayed that you would be a great mother, prayed that you would have an amazing relationship, prayed that you guys would make it to and through labor and delivery, and then to go through that work and to have that baby that has been in you placed on you and hear her cry and see her little face and hold her. It was just the most amazing feeling ever in the entire world. And so again, I was just crying happy tears and just could not stop saying, my baby, my baby. And then she peed on me. And so I was literally like, my baby, my baby. Is she peeing on me? And the nurses were like, yeah, sometimes that happens. She sure did pee on you, mama. And I'm like, oh, this how we gonna be, huh? And that has been our relationship ever since, you know, just so madly in love with this baby, but she also is real cray and can get crazy. She's my little Sour Patch Kid, but I love her so very much. So anyways, after all of that, they cleaned her up. Daddy cut the umbilical cord, and basically we recovered in that room. And so everything went well with the recovery. We did have like kind of a little bit of issues with breastfeeding. She just wasn't getting enough. I'm not sure. I can't really remember what was going on, but I do remember that I supplemented with formula in the hospital, but I continued trying to breastfeed, and we did establish a great breastfeeding relationship, which was awesome. So one of the things that military hospital had us do was everybody had to take a class before you were discharged, and it was basically, you know, how to healthily how to handle stress in healthy ways, basically. You know, like, don't shake your baby. You know, it's okay to put your baby down and let them cry and walk away until you can kind of recoup those things, which is awesome and I think really important. And so we did that class. We went home. We did have a scary incident the very first night that we were home. She did have like fluid in her lungs. That was one of the things after she had come out that they said, you know, sometimes they get fluid So just keep suctioning. And so she was crying, and then all of a sudden she just couldn't breathe. And she was choking on whatever fluid was in her lungs, and she started to like literally turn purple. And mind you, we had just got home. Somebody got us like a Minnie Mouse first aid kit, right? So the little Minnie Mouse suction bulb, I had that by our bed. And so I was like suctioning, and it wasn't getting anything out. And I was like, I need the hospital one. And so my husband ran downstairs and got it, and like I just got to suction, and luckily it all came out. She started breathing again, and I literally just started crying, like bawling my eyes out, because that was extremely scary. First time mom, first night at home, and your baby just stops breathing. The good news is that we made it through that. We've had some other scary things that have happened, but God has always watched out for us. God has always taken care of us and of our daughter. And so, yeah, now I have a healthy, happy, smart, thriving, sassy 5-year-old who I love more than life itself. Part of me is scared that having the second baby, I think a lot of moms feel like, how could I possibly love this second one as much as I love this first? But I have a lot of friends who have multiple kids who tell me every mama feels this way, and your love just grows. It just grows. And so I'm excited to see like how amazing of a big sister my daughter is, because I know she will be amazing. I'm so excited to see the relationship that she has with her brother, because me and my brother are 4 years apart, and so her and her brother will be 5 years apart, and me and my brother are extremely close to this day. So I'm just very, very excited. And so like I said, I am being induced in a couple of days. You will be seeing this video probably after I have my baby, because I plan on having a bunch of videos queued up so that I don't have to really do much filming in the first month after I have my son. So I hope you guys can be patient. You know, let me heal. Let me enjoy that time bonding with my son, help us to adjust to this new life as a family with not just a 5-year-old who all of our attention was on, but now we have a newborn, and trying to learn how to balance all of those things. But I promise you will see baby. Actually, if you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely do so, because that's probably where you will get your first peek before you see it on YouTube. So I guess I will give you my belly shot. Again, I am 39 weeks. Let's see, I'll have to move this to the side. I can barely fit my pajamas, as you can see. But this is 39 weeks right here. Let's see what the other 39 weeks belly. See my stretch marks, keeping it real, right? Got lots of stretch marks. My belly button ring left a scar, but it's okay. Things we do for our children, right? And you can probably see over my shoulder our car seat that we still have to get installed. So probably husband will do that today. But that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. If you're a first-time mama and you're kind of wondering what to expect, I'm getting induced, I'm delivering in a military facility, well then definitely check out my previous video. But as always, you can hit me up in the comments. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me, because I love to interact with my tribe. So again, if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. If you are new here, if you like me, you like what you see, and you like the content that I put out there, please do not be afraid to hit subscribe and join my tribe. And until next time, later loves.